Willson Contreras, Cubs fans, has chosen to speak out. So we all wondered this past year why Willson Contreras left the Cubs. Because I wondered it too. He didn't sign with the Cardinals for a lot of money. It was a very standard contract. It was 5 years, $95 million. I thought, why didn't the Cubs pay him that much money? Willson Contreras, all-star catcher, could be a Hall of Famer if he plays at this level for, 8 more years maybe. He's on the track if he could continue to play at this level and sustain the production that he's put up. World Series champion, glue piece for the Cubs, and they didn't trade him. See, I was all for trading Willson Contreras this past season at the trade deadline, so that way you could get back a haul. The Cubs didn't do anything, though. They let it pass. So I assumed by letting him go or letting it pass that they'd sign him this offseason. They didn't. And now we have comments from Contreras maybe as to why he left and what happened. So this is from Jeff Jones, and here's an article from Cubs Insider that has the quote, Contreras said he started imagining himself as a Cardinal the day he saw Albert Pujols hit his 695th home run. Contreras said he was on the IL, watching from the bench, envisioning playing for a team with that kind of tradition and celebration. Then, here today, I just saw this, Valley Sports Midwest, Contreras compares the Cardinals and the Cubs organizations. Quote, for me, I like this better, St. Louis. It's a better organization, old school way, which I love. Ever since I got here, it's been everything just one way, the Cardinal way. These are the comments from Willson Contreras, and if you're a Cubs fan out there and you're watching, you're probably livid and pissed. I am, but I also don't blame him. So it goes both ways. I'm pissed because Willson Contreras left for only $95 million. The Cubs easily could have paid that much money. Shows how cheesy-ass the Ricketts are sometimes. They spend $177 million on a guy career hitting .260, and that's okay. But they can't sign a catcher who's the glue piece to their squad who won a World Series with them, who is still performing with them. And they don't trade him for prospects that let him go. I'm pissed about that, and I can see why Contreras is saying this, but on the flip side of it, you're going to tell me that you were mistreated and that you didn't like the Cub way? You won a damn World Series here. You won it all here. You did everything here. You were an all-star. You were a starting catcher. How could you say that the Cardinal way is the better way? You haven't even played a full season there. You've been there for a couple of weeks in spring training. How could you say it's a better way? You don't even know what the way is yet. So it goes both ways, Willson. One or the other. I can understand why you're probably mad. Yes, I get it. I'm with you. Should have been traded for prospects. You weren't. You didn't come back. But I'll tell you what. Don't sit here and tell me the Cardinal way is better when you haven't even played a game with the Cardinals yet. You don't even know what the way is for the Cardinals. Well, what's the Cardinal way? What, they paid you $95 million? Congratulations. Had you gone to any other team in baseball, 28 other teams would have paid you the same amount of money, if not more. With the exception of maybe like the A's and the Royals. Everybody would have paid you money to go there. That same dollar amount and the same amount of years. The Cubs would have done it. They should have. So I just don't understand where that sentiment comes from. Unless, you're mad because the Ricketts didn't pay you or they didn't want to pay you or maybe this offseason they didn't give him a contract. Then I can understand. But don't tell me the Cardinal way is the better way. You have no idea which way is better. You don't know what the better way is or what that even means. You haven't even played a game with them. And what? So you were watching the game while you were on the IL. Way to be engaged in your team. You're on the IL. You're on the bench. You just said it. And you're watching Albert Pujols' game-breaking 695th home run, and you're thinking, wow, I want to be there. Way to stick up for your team, Willson. Way to be really into it with your team during the game. Thinking about freaking Albert Pujols and the Cardinals and, wow, I want to be on a team like that. That's what's going through your head on the IL while you're with the Cubs. You're in a real game on the bench. And you know what? Good riddance. Get the hell out of here then. That's what you're thinking about. And you're still on the Cubs and you're on the IL and you're on the bench. Then get the hell out of Chicago. I never want to see you again. See, it goes both ways. Everybody's in the wrong here. Willson is in the wrong. The Cubs are in the wrong. The Cardinals are in the wrong. Everybody has a share of the blame. And that's why I'm coming after everybody. It's not just the Willson comments that get me. It's everything behind it and in front of it. So Willson needs to really shut his trap because it doesn't make any sense, his comment. And I didn't appreciate it at all. I mean, for me, I like this better. It's a better organization, old school way, which I love. Ever since I got here, it's been just everything one way, the Cardinal way. I'm getting so worked up, I'm sneezing. The Cardinal way. The hell does that even mean? I mean, I know what it means. I like the way the Cardinals do business. They have tons of prospects all the time, tons of guys who just come up and kill it. I like what they do. I wish the Cubs did it. But my thing is, you haven't played one game there. You just got paid by them, and all of a sudden you're the mouthpiece for the Cardinals? What are you, a politician? All of a sudden, somebody pays you, a special interest group pays you, and now you're their mouthpiece? And you just forget about, I don't know, winning a World Series here and doing something good here? Come on, dude. Really? Willson, you won the World Series here. You were the glue piece here. You were everything here for a decent amount of time. You meant a lot to this team. You can't just forget about all that and move forward and move on. That makes no sense to me. I don't appreciate the comments from Contreras. I don't appreciate the backhandedness of those comments either. I think it's a total scam and a total joke. And he is going to have to pay for that eventually. And by, what I mean is that hopefully the Cubs can just beat down on the Cardinals this season when they face each other. Because Willson should not be offering up comments like that. It's not right. It's not right. It's wrong. Based on his career and what he's done. It's a damn joke. The hell out of here, man. I definitely took offense to that. Man. What's wrong with you, Willson? Why are you doing this? Why are you saying this? Why are you making this a big deal? You've never played a game in Cardinal Red yet, and yet you know that they're a better organization just because they paid you. So would he be saying the same thing if San Diego paid him, or if Los Angeles paid him, or if Pittsburgh paid him? Milwaukee. The Brewers were in on Contreras for a while. They could have paid him. Just despicable comments from Willson. And I don't want to see him in Chicago again now. I used to be kind of neutral on him. I liked him. I think he was a good player. Now I don't care for him anymore. I think I'm done with him because the fact that during a team game for the Cubs, you're sitting there thinking about Albert Pujols and why the Cardinals are a better organization, then again, good riddance, see you later, don't come back. Don't ever come back. Leave and stay over there. If that's what's really going through your head, when you're on the bench engaged in a Cubs game, coaching up some younger players, being a leader, you're supposed to be a leader and a mentor, and your head's on the Cardinals, then dude, get the hell out and don't come back. That is horrible, in my opinion. Just horrible from Contreras. I think it's totally wrong, and I think, he will pay for those comments eventually. Hopefully the Cubs come in and they sweep the Cardinals and they send a message saying, hey, we're still a good organization too. That's what I'd love to see. That would be the best way to make them pay for what they said. But I can't defend any of those comments from Willson. His choice, he's wrong. So I had to give some time for that because I was very disappointed in what he said. Dan, all over this one. I know you're probably really engaged here. Let's see this. The Cardinals have the champions to back it up, too. Championships. Let me see this here. You had tons of trophies, play stats for Contreras, right? You know, Dan, I mean, I think you and I are in agreement here. It doesn't make sense for Contreras to be saying all this stuff. You won a ring here. You played very well here. A couple of all-star teams here. You did a lot here, a lot of good things. Why come around and just trash the team you were a part of for all this time? You said you wanted to be a Cub forever. Obviously, that wasn't true. You said you wanted to be a Cub, and yet you're thinking about a different team on the bench. So you're not. You didn't want to be a Cub. You're lying. Oh, man. What a tough look for him. Wonder if the Cub fans will boo him when he comes to Wrigley Field. I would. If I were there, I'd be the first one booing him. I don't know if anybody else will, though.